All right, already. This is Kevin Drake on January the 23rd at 12:57 in the afternoon. This is take two. I recorded on Inauguration Day on January the 20th, but when I played it back, I had made an error, a mistake on one of the Gematria terms. So I deleted it, and it took me a few days to get back here. But here I am. It's good to see your beautiful faces, Denarians, you holders of UGX, IDR, VND, and all the goodies in the goodie room for the paper products that we are believing for harvesting both ends of the stick with the global currency reset, the great wealth transfer of funds from the dinar, which is the linchpin, and the other Forex products that are leveraged into our hands. We are in a lot of trouble if they harvest the dinar out of the United States Treasury, out of the Office of Asset Controls, into the fiat Federal Reserve note. If they harvest that before they pull the trigger on the global currency reset, as far as the QFS is concerned, which is ISO 222 coins are scheduled to go live, which most experts in this field believe that in March, QFS will go live. The ISO 222 tokens, XRP, XLM, and so forth, Algorand, IOTA, XDC, and Quant, and the others are scheduled to go live. And if that happens before they harvest the dinar, it would be a good thing for the dinar to harvest into the new United States note, which will be gold backed. It will be a terrible thing if they harvest the Iraqi dinar, the UGX, the VND, and all these other paper Forex products into the Federal Reserve note. Because if that happens, the chances of you having to scramble to put your money into crypto and gold and silver and land, getting your money out of the bank as quickly as possible is going to be a much bigger problem, in my opinion, than if the United States government and Britain, who owns 51% of the Central Bank of Iraq, is owned by JP Morgan and a consortium of 13 banks, and 49% of the Central Bank of Iraq is owned by the Rothschild or the Crown Bank of England. So if the Central Bank of Iraq is in charge of the dinar, and the Bank of International Settlements is at the top with the World Bank and the IMF on each side of the Bank of International Settlements, which is the crown of the Federal Reserve banking system, and all central banks yield to the Bank of International Settlements out of Basel, Switzerland. And if they begin to birth the BRICS, which is a system where they're going to have a unit as their cryptocurrency and using BRICS Pay, which to me is connected to the Ripple Labs XRP ledger, because everything that the unit that the Bank of International Settlements created, the unit, which is the cryptocurrency that's 40% backed by gold and 60% backed by other commodities, is owned or created by the Bank of International Settlements in all the countries that are in league with the BRICS, which United States and Britain are one of 31 observing nations. But since the Federal Reserve Bank out of New York is underneath the Bank of International Settlements, to me, the Federal Reserve Bank is running the show with the unit, which is a cryptocurrency, which is going to run the BRICS. So it's a big nutshell game. Heidi hiding things in the hidey hole and trying to commit skullduggery and trickery, posing that China and Russia and the BRICS nations are against the dollar when they're all in cahoots on this together. So enough said about that. A 5-minute and 17-second introduction. We're going to get right into some visions, a dream. It's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months since I've seen your beautiful faces, and I apologize for not coming on here. I'm busy with dinar. If you need dinar, if you need UGX, if you need VND or IDR, I stock it and sell it, and I'm Johnny on the spot to get it out to you as quick as possible at the best rates. So if you need any, it helps support this ministry. Do not think for a minute that I am not on my post praying every day about getting words from the Lord to help you guys so you don't have your legs blown out from under you, or to bring not advice, not financial advice, because I am not your Smith Barney. I am not your Charles Schwab. I am not your Edwards Jones, nor am I a licensed financial advisor. I am just a man crying in the wilderness every day for 2 to 4 hours seeking the Lord. And he gives me words and visions and dreams and has called me to this post, to the great wealth transfer. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I've been called into this to use my prophetic eyes to see visions and to hear the word of the Lord as I see the visions, and to have some dreams, of which I'm going to remind you of a dinar dream that I had May 22nd, 3 or 4 years ago, later on in the video. I've got a full ammo clip, and I want to start off today talking about Doge and Shiba Inu. We're going to talk about VChain and Thor. We're going to talk about XRP and XLM and dinar, of course, and how you can protect yourself at the bank when these things finally harvest. But I want to start off with a prayer before I get into the visions and words from the Lord. I just want to pray a quick prayer to get my heart right, because there's some shenanigans going on in the wealth transfer community. People that are making videos that have no expertise in hearing God. They have no expertise in crypto or the dinar as far as hearing the Lord, or even researching well enough to have any credibility to be on YouTube. And it's a dang shame, because there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and false information, false words from the Lord. And a lot of you guys are out of alignment, in my opinion. And this is not financial advice. This is going to be a warning today about Shiba Inu. I know that I gave a word 3 or 4 years ago about Shiba Inu. The Lord called me into Shiba Inu. I actually hated Shiba Inu's name, and the Lord called me into Shiba Inu, and I made $500 twice by buying about 100 million SHIB, which was like, $1,200 to $1,500 worth of Shiba, and got out of it twice, making $500 twice over the course of 4 years, and 3 or 4 years, and now I'm almost completely out. He's led me again to just have 1 million in cold storage and 1 million on a sell limit order with 3 zeros and a number. And I'm going to tell you why that I think they are deceiving you guys about Shiba Inu. Number one, I'm willing to repent right now and say I'm sorry if I was wrong. If I was deceived by evil spirits, if I was deceived by a false voice, if I was deceived by anything about Shiba Inu, I want to apologize. I'm not saying for sure that I was wrong years ago, and I never gave a date, but I did prophesy, and I'm ashamed, to be honest. I'm ashamed of this word. I said that Shiba Inu would come in one day between 10 cents and $10. And I'm ashamed of that word because of the following information I'm about to reveal to you. It's possible that in 2028, it could come in, at a penny and a dollar and go up to $10. It's possible that that word that I gave is true. So I'm not completely 110% repenting of it. I'm just repenting of it in case I was deceived because of the things I've found out and discovered from the Lord in researching about Shiba Inu. And I do believe long term, like to 2028, it could make some money, but I think very powerful men are pulling the strings on Shiba Inu, and I'm going to reveal some shocking stats that I researched and tell you why I think and who I think is doing this and why. And then I'm not going to give you advice. I'm just going to let you know that I think the real Shiba Inu dog is Doge. I believe the Lord gave me a word about Doge going to $32. I believe Doge is the real Shiba Inu. And if you look up the real name of that Doge Shiba Inu dog, Kabusu or Kabuso or whatever, it means golden ticket. And I think that Shiba Inu dog that is the icon image of Doge is the real Shiba Inu. Remember, Elon Musk brought that out as the first meme coin in 2013. And then nobody really knows who Ryoshi is that brought out Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu, I want to tell you something. I want you to think logically. You Shiba holders that are waiting for Shiba Inu to make you millions or billions, and you're waiting to buy XRP and XLM. Big mistake. You should have been stacking XRP and XLM for the last 3 or 4 years or the last 3 or 4 months. And if you can hear the Lord, and if he tells you to sell 90% of your Shiba Inu and buy XRP and XLM and XPR, oh my God, XPR and BSV, which I think is the real Bitcoin, and so many goodies in the goodie room. VThor, VChain is a new one on my radar. Doge, DAG's in the shag, going to 38.83 is the latest word that I got on DAG. Oh my gosh, DAG. ETN is still low. You can get it, even though they kicked us off of KuCoin. The Lion Piss token, Electronium, is a great field to sow in. I believe the Digital Pound Foundation is connected to Electronium, and I believe that XLM and Electronium will compete as Coke and Pepsi did back in the day, and they will be used to buy things. Truly believe that. So I'm just going to try to explain how the Lord took me down a rabbit trail, a series of rabbit trails, so that this is important because so many people have been deceived to buy Shiba Inu and Terra Luna Classic heavily and wait to harvest to make millions to buy XRP and XLM. And this video is important for those people who are still hanging on to Shiba and Terra Luna. It's not financial advice. It's, hey, go to the Lord and ask him if I'm warning you with the Holy Spirit to dump 90% of your Shiba and Terra Luna, or maybe keep, I actually have a good little chunk of Terra Luna. I'm not really dumping it. I dumped 90% of it a long time ago, made money on Terra Luna, and then got back in a nice little chunk. So I'm kind of holding my Terra Luna, but definitely mostly out of Shiba, because do you know that the top 100 placeholders, the top 52 have over 1 trillion tokens. Of the 589 trillion tokens that Shiba Inu has posted, the top first holder, has 410 trillion. Shiba Inu tokens. The second placeholder has 44 trillion Shiba Inu tokens. You go all the way down to number 52, and he has 1 trillion tokens. So from 410 to 44 trillion, 410 trillion, 44 trillion, down to 1 trillion at number 52, all the way down to the top 100. The 100 spot has 529 billion tokens. And if you think that they're going to bring off 4 zeros, do you know that if they brought off 1 0 and it went to 0.000, 3 zeros and an 8, that the guy that has 410 trillion tokens would go from like 8 billion to $86 billion, and the guy that has 44 trillion would go from $1 billion to $10 billion. And you can do the math all the way down to 529 billion tokens, how much money that is in Shiba. And if you think that you are going to get $1 or a penny, in my opinion, I think you're deceived. And it's a sad day, because I think Ryoshi, I'll tell you how I got started on this journey, believing that Shiba is a pump and dump, and it's not the real Shiba Inu. I had a beautiful gray Russian blue cat. It's gray, it's called a Russian blue, show up on my back porch one day, and it had green eyes. It was looking into my house, and the Lord told me to go up to it. It had been killing my redbirds, my cardinals, my doves, all my wild birds that I feed. It had been killing my birds and running my birds off. And that gray cat showed up at my back porch one day and looked in. And the Lord told me to walk up to my sliding glass door and look at it. And it stayed there for like 5 minutes peering in. It had beautiful green eyes, had a gray, sleek body, well built, strong. It's a hunter. And the Lord spoke to me that there was a prophetic message in those green eyes. So 3 days went by, and I'm like, what's the prophetic message in the murdering, cardinal, redbird killing, beautiful cat that I wanted to bring in and pet for a second because it was so beautiful, and then string it up by a yard arm and hang it and strangle it because it kills all my beautiful birds. And I couldn't stand that cat. Even though it's a beautiful cat, I was angry at it. I'm like, what's up with the green eyes, Lord? What's the prophetic message? He said, look up the founder of Shiba Inu, Kevin. I look up the founder of Shiba Inu, and Shiba Inu is created by a guy or a series of men, group of men called Ryoshi. So he told me to look up Ryoshi on the Gematria calculator. If you don't use the Gematria calculator, gematriax.org or whatever, gematriax.org, you're missing out, because the occult does. Everybody in the Masonic Lodge that runs the world, they use the Gematria calculator, and they invert everything. Everything of Jesus is Lucifer, and everything Lucifer is Jesus to them. We as Christians see the Gematria that God created, A through Z. 1 is A, 26 is Z. A letter is assigned to a number, and then you plug in names, and it spits out a number and other meanings. And you can follow the occult through Gematria because they use it heavily. And so I looked up Ryoshi, and do you know Ryoshi means XRP scam and green eyes? I don't believe XRP is a scam. I believe it is the king of crypto, along with XLM and XPR and BSV and so many goodies in the goodie room, Algorand, and so many we've talked about here. But Shiba Inu, if you look up its meaning, go ahead and look up Shiba Inu's meaning, go ahead and look up Ryoshi's meaning. Then the next day the Lord told me, now look up the Ryoshi token. Guess what the Ryoshi token is? It's a cat. And he just kept ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell, and having me dump more and more and more and more Shiba. Now, what you do is your business, but I think you're being taken down a road, and I think the people that have 410 trillion tokens, 44 trillion tokens, down to 529 billion tokens, those top 100 placeholders, I think they're going to take a zero off of Shiba Inu, and most of us will be left holding the bag. We'll be lucky if we get our sell limit orders filled. But I think Doge is the true Shiba Inu dog. And that's all I'm going to say really about that. I don't have to mention any names. There are people out there that are deceiving the body of Christ. They're deceiving themselves. They walk in dishonor. They steal from my platform. They steal my crypto guys, promote them as their own. They come to my camp 3 years ago, greener than a greenhorn, and get information from me. And I give them dinar and I give them XLM because they were too poor to afford any of this. And I give them out of the goodness of my heart information. And now they've started to channel and prophesying to believe for $1 Shiba. It's shameful. And I'm appalled at the dishonorable behavior of some people that come out on YouTube and confirm what I think is one of the greatest deceptions that has ever deceived the body of Christ, and that is Shiba Inu. Enough said about that. You know where I stand. Let's move on. It's important that we dealt with that for 20 minutes because so many people are being led down a rabbit hole that I don't think they're going to make any money on. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Do what you want to do. Pray what you need to pray. I made a contract every year for 10 years. I have 3 contracts and another one getting ready to be signed. Every 10 years I've made a contract with the Father, and I made contracts, 3 different ones, over 10 years each, so 3 different decade-long contracts. I will go where you tell me to go. I will say what you tell me to say. What you say to say, to whom, where, when, and I will not ask why. And I take it very seriously. And if I don't score 97 to 99%, and if I'm wrong on the 10 cent to $10 by 2028, then I'm wrong on Shiba. I'm willing to admit that I also was deceived. But that's all we're going to talk about on Shiba. We're going to move on to a dream I had about 9 months ago. I think it's important to say this. I had a dream at 4:59 in the afternoon after being told to take a rest, take a nap in the afternoon. And I really wasn't that tired. But when I went in there and just closed my eyes, I went right to sleep for some reason. I really wasn't wanting to take a nap at 4:39 in the afternoon. But when I did, I woke up at 4:59 after an interesting dream. I saw a black knight of a chess piece. You know, when you play chess, you have that little horse head, a dark black knight. And I saw this black knight of a chessboard piece. I saw it turn into Donald Trump as a dark knight. I saw martial law in the dream being enacted, and all those immigrants brought here were taken to FEMA camps through Walmart's underground military bases. And I heard in my dream, it's a trap. They've been brought in here to exterminate them. And I said, Father, is Trump part of that or against that? And I felt like he said both. So take that for what it's worth as a dream. What's going to happen to the 30 to 50 million people that have come into this country illegally? A lot of them 18 to 30-year-old, military age. I don't think we're out of the woods whatsoever. On December the 8th, I saw in the natural at Chase Bank as I drove to a tennis match in Lee Summit. And I saw Woody from Toy Story, 1,000 feet tall. And he had on leather chaps marked XLM, and he had on a blue t-shirt marked XRP Ripple logo with a leather vest and a cowboy hat. He had on a belt buckle and was marked 500 at the top of his chaps on his belt buckle. And I felt like the Spirit was showing me in a download that XRP at 1,000 feet, that's how tall that cowboy was, XRP would go to 1,000, but XLM would hit 500. So what's the better thing to stack if that revelation is true? When XLM is 42 to 44 cents and XRP is at over $3 now, if XLM went to 500 one day, I'm not giving time references or prophecies on time. I'm saying if XRP went to 1,000 and XLM went to $500, and you could buy $1,000 worth of XLM today or $100 worth of XLM today at 42 or 44 cents, what is the better leverage? That's all I'm asking you. I saw Heinz 57 on an XLM sign and 111 on an XRP sign the day before on a rocket ship. And I've seen 111 for XRP on a rocket ship and Heinz 57 stamped on the rocket ship for XLM, both those visions revealing that XLM will be half the value of XRP one day. I personally think it's going to overtake XRP pretty soon, based on a dream a friend of mine had where he saw XRP at 11 in his dream. It's a good buddy of mine from Canada. He saw XRP in his dream at 11, and he saw XLM at 22. I had a series of visions after that. It's like 6 months ago where I saw XLM at 27 when my friend up in Canada saw XRP at 11. I think XLM is going to go from 22 to 27. And I think XRP will go from $10 to $15. Will we have a crash after that? I don't know. But I believe that when I drove by Papa's workshop and I saw his truck do some backflips in a vision, I saw XRP and XLM were switching right and left door emblems, and the truck was just flipping. Is XRP and XLM going to flip back and forth as leaders? And a vision on the screen, as I mentioned earlier, I saw DAG go to $33.83, and we are getting deep into Star Wars. And DAG is a cryptocurrency that is associated with cybersecurity for the Space Force, the Air Force, the Star Wars, the whole system of protecting our infrastructure in Space Force. The constellation DAG is very, very important, and you can get it on a Stargazer wallet. You can store it on a Stargazer wallet, and if it goes to $33.83, DAG is in the shag. So, I saw Woody and Buzz Lightyear one day riding in a USPS truck on the 9th of December, 2024. It's how long since I've been on here. And he was growing up out of the USPS truck like he was tall as a giraffe neck. Again, I saw 111 for XRP and Heinz 57 on Buzz Lightyear. And I heard, "Ride the wind, bullseye, reach for the sky, you're my favorite deputy. Somebody's poisoned the water hole. There's a snake in my boot. I'd like to join your posse, boys, but first I'm gonna sing a little song. Yee-haw, giddy up, partner. We gotta get this wagon train a-moving. This town ain't big enough for the two of us." That's a message for one of you guys out there. If you're watching me and somebody else that is telling you the exact opposite, why don't you pick them and leave me? Because I don't mind being a Gideon and reducing my numbers. I don't come on here asking for you to subscribe to my channel, nor do I come on here asking for a thumbs up. I don't care what you think of these visions or if you think I'm out of my mind. I am merely a man crying in the wilderness, giving words of the Lord. And if I don't ring the bell 97 to 99%, and then come on here and repent and score everything that I've said for the past 4 years on my own website and give my own grade, if I don't score 97 to 99%, or at least say I've misinterpreted a vision or interpreted it right or wrong and score high, I promise you I will leave here and go farm cattle up in Montana or Wyoming and buy a beach house, because I don't need to be on here if I'm wrong. If you need help protecting your XPR, I recommend getting a hold of me at AquaStoneTrading at yahoo.com or warhorsesrising at gmail.com, because XPR has a lot of sand traps and sinkholes and ways that they are going to try, in my opinion, to block you from getting it, holding it properly. And if you don't know how to set up your gas fees it's a hidden way of setting up gas fees in an inverted way. If you don't know how to do that, you're better off not buying XPR, because I think you won't be able to harvest it out. So get a hold of me. It's $56 to $99 per hour for help with Andrew and Tom and the Walking Encyclopedia. So I've got 3 guys that can help you if we get busy. I'm just going to move on from there and talk about VChain for a second. All right. I was driving up to deliver some dinar one day by Papa's workshop. And Papa is a grandpa. He has Papa's workshop sign on his gable of his double garage. I'm sure he has a wood shop in there. And he's always working on some old car. And in his driveway right now is a faded turquoise blue Chevrolet 1950s pickup. And when I went up to mail out some dinar at the U.S. Postal Service, I had a vision. And what I saw was 300 or more gold bars, big brick gold bars, stacked up in the back bed of Papa's 1950s turquoise blue faded pickup truck. Over 300 gold bars, bricks. And I was like, I could hone in with a telescope and see the stamp that was on the gold bars, and I was shown VChain. So immediately that day, I bought a little bit of VET. It's going to compete with HBAR for the consumer goods and things that are shipped around the world. It's a cryptocurrency that will help track the shipment of goods around the world. And it's going to be in competition, and it is in competition with HBAR on that, and BSV, in my opinion. Well, 3 days later, I drove up to mail out some more dinar, and I had another vision, and I saw Trump, Thor, big, buff, strong, good-looking blonde guy from Australia that did the movie Thor. He's like one of the X-Men characters. And I saw Elon Musk, Thor, and President Trump all dressed up in American hero type outfits, like Captain America outfits. And so I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Thor and Elon Musk and Trump. And I went up to the post office, did my business, came back, and I had another vision. And I really don't care if you accuse me today or tomorrow or the next day that God would never show something like that I'm about to tell you. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Or you can write me and I'll tell you what I think of you if you write me. But I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw. And it's not pretty. But what I saw was, on the way back, I saw the same vision. Trump, Elon Musk, and Thor, all looking like Captain America, all looking like superheroes. And I saw what I call the Metallicus Tiger Man. Saw the Tiger Man, B&B Tiger Man, He was not just a hybrid tiger man. This time he was metal, he was machine, he was tiger, and he was a man. He was a transhumanistic, metallicus tiger man, is what the Lord told me to call him. And what he did was not pretty. He took Trump, he took Elon, and he took Thor, mighty Thor, Chris Hemsworth. He bent him over and he sodomized him. And I really didn't want to see that, but I'm letting you know that I saw it. And a few days later, the Lord said, now I want you to look up VChain, and I want you to invest in something else associated with VChain. And I looked up VChain and I found VChain Thor. Wow, I was like, what? What? Are you kidding me? VChain Thor performs the gas fees. You know, when you buy your beloved Shiba, you have to pay Ethereum gas fees, and you know how costly they are. And gas fees are a big deal in crypto. So, VChain Thor, I got in it, I bought some of it, and it went way, way up within a month since I've seen this. I'm sorry that I didn't come on here and tell you guys. I apologize. I've been meaning to make a video for about 3 weeks to a month, and if I would have brought this to your attention, you could have made some money on VThor, but it's not too late because I think it's going to go back up. It hit a penny the other day, a little over a penny, I think, and I think it's going to go beyond that one day. And I think VThor is a good, solid Elijah field to sow into if you pray and if you hear God, because I'm not giving you financial advice, okay? Enough said about that. I want to tell you a vision I had about Bank of America. I saw a vision at Bank of America on the way to play tennis in December before Christmas. I was playing still outdoors then. I saw Bank of America implode, and I felt like the Lord was saying that Bank of America is going to go down, and that to look up who the major shareholders, investors are of Bank of America. You got BlackRock, you've got State Street, you've got Warren Buffett, and I think, besides BlackRock, I think Vanguard. I think those right there own about a third of the shares of Bank of America. And this is the second time that I've seen a vision of Bank of America go down. So take that for what it's worth. I'm not telling you any financial advice to get in or out of Bank of America. I'm just telling you to pray about it. And I looked up Bank of America on the Gematria calculator, and it means, you ready? Thor, heroes, Shemitah, Bernie Madoff, Kabbalistic, Judgment, the event. Good night, Ethereum, Albert Pike, Pale Horse, Quicksand. Hello. Man, the Gematria really scores. It really scores. What else do we have? Yeah, I'll wait on that one. I am just going to finish off with what Ryoshi means on the Gematria calculator. It means Generation X, Skynet, Ace of Spades, Tammuz, Queen of Heaven. That's who Tammuz is. Microchip, American Eagle, Ashkenazi, Columbine, Judgment, Biometric Scanners, Illusionist, 3 little pigs, no, 3 little birds, Wealthy, Uranus, Sam Altman, Guardians, Tesla Bot, Divine Gene, Puppy, White Hat. Are you kidding me? Sam Altman, isn't that the guy with AI only that Trump just brought out with their 3 billionaires that are going to be building the new Babylon of America? Ryoshi, the inventor and creator of Shiba Inu, means illusionist. Enough said. You've heard me. You know where I stand. Not financial advice. If he leads you to dump 90% of your Shiba and buy XLM, I say bravo! This is Kevin Drake. May the Lord, the Lion of Judah, shine his face upon you and give you his peace. May he release a boomerang fiery sword on your Coinbase, on your Ledger, on your Engrave, on your Tangent wallet, on your Uphold, on your Crypto.com, on your Binance, on your whatever cold storage you have, on your bank account, on your truck, on your car, over your children, over your parents, over your life. May the flaming sword of the Lord guard over you. If you're going to use this wealth transfer and you're going to be 110% obedient with the money, and you're going to feed the poor, you're going to clothe them and heal the sick, raise the dead, and you're chomping at the bit as a Command Tower number 2 horse. Remember the story when I was a dapper 31-year-old in a suit and tie, went to Keeneland Downs, and the Lord told me to go there and watch a horse race when I was 31 years old, and he told me which horse was going to win. I looked at the racing form, and it said Command Tower number 2, and the Lord said, that's the one, that's the ticket. Command Tower number 2 is going to win. It was 50 to 1 odds. He said, bet everything in your left front pocket, Kevin, and that horse is going to win. And I said, Lord, but I have a $20 bill in my billfold. That's $32. 32 is the number of the covenant promise, and I could win thousands. He said, bet everything in your left front pocket, $12, or that horse will lose. So I went up and I obeyed the Lord. He said, obedience is better than sacrifice, son. So I walked up, I plopped down $12 for Command Tower number 2 to win. And the old hag at the window said, good luck, sonny. And I said, I'll be back. And I went to watch this race in a dark blue suit and a red tie. And I was just a young man of 31 years old. And when the horses took off, man, field of about, 12 to 15 horses, 13 horses. when they took off, my horse was dead last for about a quarter of a mile, completely dead last. It took a long time to get out of the gate. The Lord said, you better pray, son. So I said, Matthew 18, verse 18, I bind the darkness and I loose the light on Command Tower number 2. And I swear a lightning bolt came down and hit that horse in the rear end, and it took off, and it rounded halfway and was catching in the middle of the pack, and it rounded 3/4 of the way, and it came down the stretch, and by a nose, Command Tower number 2 won, and it went back up there, and to my great surprise, it had went up to 60 to 1 odds, and I won $720. And the lady said, I don't have enough hundreds. I said, I'll wait. And I walked away and never bet on a horse race again. $720. Command Tower number 2 is XLM in my view, and XPR. Oh my goodness. Why does XRP have a emblem like this and like this? So above, so below. All right, take that story for what it's worth. If you feel led to get in to XLM and bail 90% on Shiba Inu, it's not financial advice, but I think you're going to be happy in the long run, as it's Command Tower number 2, 50 to 60 to 1 odds in some of your guys' minds, and Doge going to 32. Is it financial advice? No. It's just a man crying in the wilderness. May the Lord bless you and keep you.